3 minutes later.
Hey, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
What's going on, Internet?
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Thursday.
Nicole Lee.
I'm here.
Yes, it's like the Bennigan of podcasts.
The what?
The Bennigans of podcasts?
I don't know. Nicole was laughing.
Explain, please.
Made sense to her.
Either one of
Bennigan?
you.
No, Bennigan used to be the go-to place instead of Chili's, right? Before
Oh,
there was a Chili's.
Bennigan.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yes.
a good
yes.
I was just
time.
laughing
We're
because
gonna
that's
find
like I did not expect that. So I was just laughing.
You know, flares and all that. That's where it got its start.
That was TJ
Yeah.
Fridays, the flare, I think.
The flip.
I thought Bennigan's was the one that kicked it
I
off.
think
And
from
then
the
Bennigan's
office,
Atlas.
it's or
TJNF,
Office
TJNF,
Space. Office Space.
Yeah.
It was Bennigan's.
Yeah, that's right. Office Space. I believe that's correct. I'm not
But
sure.
like
I don't know.
TGIF and Chili's sort of ate their lunch.
So
Literally.
I don't know if anyone else has seen the 2016 Korean movie, The Wailing.
I have not.
Nobody's
Is it
seen
like
it.
the animal whale or the crying whale?
It neither.
Okay.
No whales. No, like the wailing, like I'm wailing, like meh.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh,
Sort of thing.
WAIL.
Yeah.
Got it.
It was weird as heck.
Oh.
And that's saying something.
it
My
like a
friend
horror
Heather
story or
Frank, who
sci-fi?
loves the horror genre, and it is definitely a horror genre. It
Okay.
wasn't really all that scary, but like definitely that's the genre. Was like, you have to watch it, and let's talk about it afterwards. 2.5 hours later, I was like, what did I just watch? It was
What's it called again?
The Wailing.
Wailing.
The Wailing. So
So
this is your
is
new
it-
Midsommar.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Midsommar angered me.
How many times are you going to watch The Wailing then?
Probably 3.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
First
So,
one
here's
last
the
night.
question. Is it subtitled or is it dubbed?
It's
in English?
subtitled.
Oh, what's its original language?
The version, that I watched was subtitled. Although weird that you say that because the subtitles were like slightly delayed, so you would
Oh.
sort of like watch a scene.
Oh, WAI.
Yeah, the
Yes.
wailing. No whales in this movie. But
Folk song.
so you'd watch a scene and then I'd kind of be like, I think I know what's going on. And then I would get the subtitles. I'd be like, oh, that's what they were saying. Great. It was, it's quite beautiful because it like takes place in the Korean countryside. Like it's not a city movie at all. Very rural and just gorgeous, but very strange. So I don't know.
Mysterious Japanese
if anyone
man
wants to
arrives.
watch
No
this
wonder.
movie and talk to me about it, great. Because I went to bed last night like, I don't know what I just did. I don't know what that was.
Gokso.
Well, you're not selling me on it.
No,
I'm not watching it.
I'm definitely not trying
That sounds
to.
like 2.5 hours of reading with no resolution
I'm
at the end. So
I'm not gonna watch
Yeah,
that.
there's like, I
Isn't
don't
that
know.
the newspaper?
It was just, it was,
Ha ha.
you know that those times where you're like, I'm committed to watching whatever.
No.
But like, I don't really like it, but I'm committed. I'm gonna finish.
No, I
I was like that with Ice Cube's War of the Worlds.
Oh,
It is
God.
arguably the worst movie I've
That's-
seen this century. But I couldn't look away. It's like, can this actually get worse? Oh, yes, it can. Yes, it
Look
can.
at that. It did.
It got worse.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the worse a movie is, the more I like it.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I like a good, Rotten Tomato movie.
It is funny, like, speaking of bad movies that people like, I kind of like Tron Ares, and I think I might be one of the few people.
You might
Are
be
you
the
a Jared
person.
Leto
Movie.
fan? Are you? Do you just have like?
No, I hate Jared Leto. It's just like the movie was like, I was like, I don't know.
Is
good
he out
music,
to Mars?
good
Why did he
vibes.
make this?
I was like, it's as good as, in my
It was
opinion,
as good as Tron Legacy.
It's as good as Legacy.
Now, did you see it in IMAX?
I saw it on the big screen. It wasn't IMAX, to be fair. It wasn't IMAX, but it was still. It looked cool.
Oh, were you at the showing?
Good music?
Did you go to the Metreon or something? Does that still even have theaters?
Yeah, Mattress still has theaters. Yes.
Didn't
IMAX.
Jared Leto show up at one of them to like say, "Hey, thanks for watching the movie"? Or...
I'm not saying he's a good guy. He probably is. I don't think he is. But it's vibey. He has vibes. It looks good. Good music.
Put
The
together.
story doesn't make any sense. Like, don't go for the plot.
So,
Don't go for the
so written by LLM.
Don't go for the plot. Don't go for the acting. But the story, it's cool. I don't know.
Go for the Letos.
Just go for the vibes. It's a good vibe.
I mean,
That's
you
all I'm
keep
saying.
saying that, but it sounds like I need to be inebriated when I walk into the theater.
Oh, sure, that would help. I'm guessing.
Do things explode for no practical reason in our user? This like,
Things explode.
okay, there we go.
There's a lot of like
There we
lights
go.
and flashing.
Yeah.
The computer
I feel like
graphics
the
are
more
cool.
explosions in a movie, the more I am likely to take a slight nap.
So,
They just lull you to sleep.
I'm just like, they're not going to talk for a while. You know, it was like when I watched F1. I was like, oh, I mean, okay.
Are you gonna ever
this-
talk?
I mean, there's talking, but like, there's a lot of race car track driving.
No, that's
And so I would just be like, I got 10 minutes before they start
that
talking.
was Ford
again.
versus Ferrari was a lot like that. Like there were bits where it was very intense,
Yeah.
but then a lot of driving.
Well, any action movie is like that. It's like you know, once it's like, ooh, car chase. All right, I got some
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, car
Yeah,
movies
action
you have to be a
movies.
car person to really appreciate because what you're doing is like, oh, did they reproduce the sound correctly when I downshift from third to second?
Yeah. But even like, I don't know, I can't think of a great example right now, but you know, non-car related action movies, it's like fight scene. It's a fight scene.
Well,
Whatever
what was
it
the
might
one
be.
that was? What was the one with?
Then
the,
I'm just like they're not going to
2
talk
minutes.
for a while.
Ryan Gosling. What is it? Not the stunt man. The one that was based off Lee Majors.
Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy.
I watched that one too. Again, bad movie. I mean, my opinion, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Like the plot didn't
Sometimes
really
bad can
make.
be good.
I mean, the plot to Fall Guy didn't
Yeah.
really make a lot of sense either.
No,
to the TV
it's
show.
I don't.
So you're
whatever,
a stunt
but-
guy, but to make ends meet, you also do bail jumpers.
Wait,
Yeah, no,
Ryan
it doesn't make
Gosling in The
sense.
Fall Guy. I don't even know that movie. I'm thinking of Drive.
Oh no, Drive was the one he did before. That also doesn't make sense, but
No,
I
it
liked
does-
that movie though.
It was fun.
it is.
I stayed awake the entire time in that movie.
the dark
I
goss.
did like it.
when he was a darker, more
So
driven
Sarah,
individual.
did you ever watch Fall Guy when it was the TV show with Lee Majors?
No, I mean,
They were- yeah,
I know
they
what
were
you're
movie,
talking
though.
about, but no, I
Yeah,
never.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I was a
sang-
little too young.
He sang the title song.
Yeah.
1 minute.
I'm
It was
a
his whole
fall
thing. It was
What was? Can you sing
guy.
it now?
I
Like,
fall.
I was the guy
along.
who. Oh, what was it? He's the unknown. He's the unknown stunt man. I'm the unknown stunt.
Oh, I don't know.
It was like a weird twangy country thing when he was still hitched to Farrah Fawcett, and then after that fell apart.
Married to
he sort
Farrah
of-
Fawcett, and I
he's-
do a lot of stunts.
Yeah, and then Raquel. Well, no, was it Raquel? No, he mentioned some other woman in the song. That was
Some
not his
other
wife.
woman.
He
Ah,
didn't
women,
mention Raquel
interchangeable.
Welch. in the
36.
Not
song,
Raquel
right?
Welch. That was
Yeah,
Okay, but that's okay.
some perfectly contemporary.
for the '80s.
The Fall Guy. I need to.
It was during when the Heather Locklear look
I'm
was
just gonna
in.
put this up after we're done here.
I think when it came out, I was like 8 or 9. So it was awesome for me because it was just like, oh, I get to stay up late
was
to
right
watch a
before
TV
Simon
show
and
past
Simon.
8:00. Yeah.
Well, it was the first thing he did after $6 Million Man, maybe.
The first
I can't
series,
remember.
yeah, that he headlined.
Have a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
From Studio 7 in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Robb Dunewood.
From San Francisco, I'm Nicole Lee.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
This show is made possible by you. Thanks to every single one of you, including special shout outs for Paul Boyer, D Laser, and Brad.
Yay. And welcome one and all to DTNS Live, the show where we discuss this week's tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better. And we are joined by Nicole Lee today. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Hello, happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you because you are a very smart person. So
Thank you.
You're going to help us understand tech a little bit better.
It almost sounded like a threat the way you said it. So.
You're very smart, but how smart are you?
And we are going to put that
my
to the
gosh.
test.
Robb Dunewood, how's it going in your neck of the woods?
It's going good. It's going good. It's we're talking about the Fall Guy, and I'm looking at Fall Guy clips all across, and it's like, man.
So Rob's gone
Tell you
for
what,
the rest of the show.
Yeah, those early 80 TV shows, like I said, when I was like 8, 9, 10, like, you know, once I think I got to 10, I was able to stay up an hour later so I could watch it. Yeah, this was awesome.
Peak
I
car
remember I don't know what everybody's home situation was like, but I couldn't watch anything that started at 9 p.m. when I was really little because I had to go to sleep. So I never watched Cheers until I was older. I never watched Night Court until I was older because I had to watch them on reruns because I was sleeping.
Ironically,
Stop telling us such
when
a
they were in
sad-
syndication, they ran at a later slot, which is weird, but it was good.
Well, everybody, if you are watching or listening to us live, you can name this episode. Head on over to dtns.showbot.tv to submit titles and vote on them. We'll check back in on the votes at the end of the show. It'll be fun. And a reminder, we've got an extended show for our patrons. We do this every Thursday. All right, let's kick it off with a few stories that caught our eye today.
Well, this one's not from today, but it's one of the big stories of the week. Samsung announced its mixed reality headset, the Galaxy XR, running Android XR and selling for $1,800. That's just about exactly half the price of the Apple Vision Pro. Has two 4K screens, 90 hertz refresh rate, so more pixels but less refresh rate than the Vision Pro. Weighs about a half a pound, so it's a little lighter. Also has Gemini integrated into it, and you can convert videos into immersive mode on the fly. Jason was talking about doing that with an NBA game that he said was pretty impressive, even if a little glitchy. You can use it with Steam Link or plug it into a Windows PC and use it as a virtual reality headset as well. Pre-orders are ongoing. They're available right now, shipping October 31st.
Spooky.
Yes.
So what do you
Project
think,
Moohead.
Do you think that these things will become a hit, or
No.
is there time passed?
Sorry-
I
sorry, you
feel
weren't done
like
with your question.
we're trying to make fetch happen. That's what we're trying to do with
I do think these are proofs of concept that people will buy and try out and go, oh, it kind of is good for this. And every time they do, we learn a little. I can't tell if this morphs into something closer to smart glasses eventually, or if it just becomes that thing by the wayside, like the Newton, where you're like, well, I guess it was kind of like a smartphone, but it wasn't exactly there.
Yeah, I haven't had one, so I'm not talking from experience, but I just don't think that these are the thing. I don't.
Not the final form for sure, right?
Yeah, Meta came out with their thing and said this is what, and I know these are virtual reality, and those other things are not virtual reality, but this is, if you're going to have something with a screen in it, this is what it should be. Meta got it right. Everybody else follow us. I think that if you're not doing that, you're going to have a warehouse full of stuff that you're not selling.
Microsoft introduced Mico, a customizable AI avatar at its fall Copilot event. Available initially in the US, Canada, and the UK, Mico reacts to user interactions, can transform into Clippy, basically, as an Easter egg. Yeah, and supports memory and learning features. Microsoft also unveiled Real Talk, which is a mode giving Copilot its own conversational perspective, plus updates to Edge and new tools for collaboration, tutoring, and productivity. Got a lot of Clippy jokes on the internet today. But
Yeah. Is this
Mico's
gonna-
pretty?
I have-
pretty,
I have
it's
Robb's
kind of like a
question.
little cute bubble person.
Yeah. Is this going to make people use it?
I don't know. I mean, it's cute, but is cute what people want? I don't
Will
know.
it pop up annoyingly when you're trying to like write an email or trying to write a?
I think it probably will. That's
I
my.
feel like it looks
that's
like an
my
onion.
guess.
Is it going
Oh.
to be useful? Like Grammarly pops up all the time, but it pops up and it's useful to me. So
Sure.
if it pops up and it's useful, and okay, this made my life easier, then maybe.
I think the whole sort of like cute little friend on the side of my screen is it's very hit and miss.
It's very
it can work.
1997.
Yeah, it can work, but you know, if it doesn't work perfectly, then everyone's just like, get rid of Mico.
I mean, that's how I felt about Clippy. So I can't
Yeah.
imagine the comparisons are not very positive in my opinion.
YouTube is trying to help users with doom scrolling. It's introduced a new shorts feature that allows mobile users to set a daily time limit for scrolling through shorts feeds. When the limit is reached, a dismissible notification pauses shorts for the day. This feature is similar to offerings from Instagram and TikTok and started rolling out to mobile users yesterday and will later be expanded to parental controls with non-dismissible notifications for kids' screen time.
I like it, and I think they should have done it much, much, much earlier.
I like it too, especially the parental controls. But even for me, it is not difficult to lose 45 minutes just looking at stuff on YouTube. So if you set yourself a trigger, you're going to give yourself 10 minutes. Oh, okay. That mental trigger may be enough to get you to move on to something else.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of YouTube shorts, but I feel the same way about TikTok. I actually actively avoid TikTok because I'm like, I don't have an hour to spare right now. Because once I'm in there, I'm just going to watch stuff and, and start like following creators. Not that that's a bad thing, but, there are only so many hours in the day. I wonder how much, this is performative on YouTube's part to just be like, yeah, you don't have to get sucked in, you could just, give yourself 2 hours max, and how much this is actually going to help folks.
Yeah, I think it'll help because I kind of wish that we would have had this stuff when I was like 9 or 10 years old, back when I, Christmas Eve, because, you would try to take a nap to make Christmas come, more quickly. You get into looking at some YouTube shorts, Christmas can come awfully quick. It's like, where did that 3 hours go? Oh, it's midnight. Can I open something? So, I am a fan because I do get sucked into this. I have to consciously remind myself, hey, you've been on here 15 minutes. Get off and go do something productive.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's good. I also think, however, that very clearly within YouTube, you can't turn off shorts. You can't say, I don't want it at all. So I think this sounds like kind of like a way to placate people who don't like shorts or just wants very limited exposure to shorts. It's like, okay, we won't turn it off because we make too much money off this thing, but here's a way to limit it. Hopefully that will satisfy you.
Those were 3 top stories that caught our eye this week. But wait, there's more. So when cloud services fail you, what's the worst that could happen? Mattress company 8 Sleep added an outage mode to its smart beds after that AWS outage this week, which was major, left thousands of its users unable to adjust temperature or incline settings. So this was not about getting on the internet. This is literally about sleep. The new mode lets users control pod devices offline via Bluetooth when cloud services go down, letting them change temperature, flatten the bed through the app, not going through the cloud. 8 Sleep CEO Matteo Franceschi apologized for the disruption, calling the feature a top priority. Now, I do not own one of these mattresses. I don't have a smart mattress at all, although that is something I would like to buy on a future Live With It segment. But yeah, I thought we could go around the horn and just talk about cloud outages. The AWS outage was pretty significant. I was mostly asleep for the worst part of it, but a lot of people were awake. Like what do we all feel is the worst example of a cloud outage that affected us? Nicole, let's start with you.
I'm trying to think. I think the worst cloud outage that has ever affected me is when it affects just work. Like, when there's a Slack outage that relies on AWS or something like that affects work. But aside from that, it's just the usual, like, social media is not working. You have to, like, my Instagram feed isn't working or my TikTok feed isn't working. I think that's the worst of it. I mean, that smart bed story is insane. Like, I would be so freaked out if my bed started to, like, come to life in front of me. That would be like, a haunted bed accusation for sure. But I think for me personally, cloud outages has only affected me in terms of my work productivity, which, have taken time off from work. It sounds good to me. But I imagine it might be worse for most other people.
I think for me, it's usually, first thing in the morning. Well, because that's, when I'm kind of getting back into the real world. It's like, what is going on? Why is nothing working?
Yeah.
Down for everyone or just me? And then you're sort of like, oh, I see. Yeah, like Instagram's down or, whatever it might be. I think the the idea of your smart mattress suddenly cooking you alive as you're laying in the mattress and you not having a good idea of how to mitigate that is a great example of how many companies are just connected to cloud services.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to in the before times when I was working in corporate world, and I had a bunch of engineers who built their demonstrations on VMware that ran in Azure or ran on like Rackspace Cloud or whatever cloud infrastructure that we were using. And we did have times when those infrastructures would go down. And the problem is that you have a company with literally dozens, if not hundreds of people who cannot do their job. And that's just one company. When you look at what happened with AWS, it wasn't just one or two or three companies. It was literally hundreds of thousands of organizations could not effectively do work. And I heard one estimate that said as much as $117 billion in the time of that outage did not move. Now, that's not unrecoverable money, but it's money that just wasn't able to be moved or able to be made because of how severe that outage was, or just, I should say, how many people it affected. Mm-hmm. So this is this particular outage affected me. I couldn't log into Riverside.fm and like edit a podcast, but it was like, okay, a few hours later I was able to, and I was good. But if you are working, you lose that kind of productivity for hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people, that adds up pretty quick.
It's one of those things where you definitely do need some sort of backup because eventually something like that's going to happen, and you need to ensure that the customer, the clientele that you have has some way of operating whatever feature that's that you've built in into the device. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I always tend to be a little on the things are always going to go wrong, and you should have a backup plan just in case. And
well, that's not a bad.
But I mean, like when you build a product, you can never assume, well, we can just build it on top of this, and then that's going to supply all the features. At some point, unless it's under your direct control, you're just going to have to assume at some point it's going to break or the connection gets severed or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like I mean, honestly, it's one of those things. If I saw this as a product, it would actually cause me to pause the thought of potentially
because you
buying.
wouldn't want a smart mattress.
Well, if there was no other option to fall back on to control, right?
Yeah, right. Well, and that I think many of us have a lot of smart devices that, for the most part, work perfectly. But when they go down and you rely on them, you're sort of like, what do I do? Like, I mean, how do I mitigate this? And in many cases, there's no way to do that. And when it's your bed, that's particularly bad.
I mean, if the electricity was out, it'd be the same thing, though.
True.
Yes, but I think there's
I guess the temperature wouldn't be as much of a problem then, because it wouldn't have the
But
electricity.
also,
You just be cold.
Yeah,
especially with a thing that's a bed that helps you get rest. If you're just cranky already and you didn't get a good night's sleep because your bed's all fritzy, I'd be doubly annoyed and just be like, ah.
And I would imagine it won't be just this one company. It'll be other companies that are also looking, hey, you know what? We maybe should create a configuration file that's just like a standard configuration file that exists locally. That way, if we do lose connectivity, you can at least lay your bed flat, or at least, let's set the temperature to just no temperature so that, you get an extra blanket. But if that thing is pumping out heat, you can't really turn it off if you need that internet connection. So I would imagine that other services will probably start to look at this if they already haven't started looking at it, because that is pretty messed up. You're trying to get some sleep and your bed's too hot. You can't turn the temperature down on it.
100%. That's a really good point, Rob. I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of companies who basically, they run through the cloud. But if that goes away and you don't want to lose customers, what is your backup plan?
Do we know how many people actually lose customers because of outages like this? I mean, I know this is annoying, and I know we as humans get very outraged when there's things that we expect not to go away that go away. But I brought up the electricity outage because I don't hear people react to power outages the same way. They just blame the power company. They don't get mad at their devices. So I wonder if it's more of a like people get upset in the moment but just sort of forget. And like, do you really lose customers?
I don't think that's the problem. The problem is for the customer that was trying to check out in their shopping cart and they couldn't, and they just go away and don't come back.
Sure.
I think that's a much bigger issue, because that's not the customer being upset with, hey, I don't trust you guys because you're down. It's just that I was in the mood to buy something right now and I can't do it. So I go on, and now there's bubbles and butterflies on other things that are actually up and working, and I go somewhere else and just do something else. So like I said, it's, earlier, it's not that, $120 billion almost was lost. It's that $120 billion didn't move during this outage, and it has to be made back up over time. Some of that, of course, is never going to be made back up. Some people were in a shopping cart ready to buy something. They couldn't buy it, and they went to another store and they bought it from there. So that opportunity is just lost.
I wonder if that stuff balances out over time, though, because I rarely have seen someone on their earnings report point to a cloud outage as the reason their sales were down that quarter. But I have seen them point to CrowdStrike and say that was a reason they lost money. So, yeah, I don't know. Just curious.
I guess it depends on how much money they lost. It's always great to blame some other company when your company has experienced a reduction in interest from consumers.
I mean, and the difference between an electrical company, at least the way I would see it as a consumer, is its utility. The government would go to bat for you to make sure that you are getting power at some point, but, AWS feels more like a private company where if they go bankrupt, I mean, highly unlikely, but if they go away, suddenly I have this bed I can't use. It's just a big paperweight. That's what I would do in my mind as I think about why I spent so much on this bed.
Well, as we continue to talk about companies that we have no control over, OpenAI launched its web browser this week called ChatGPT Atlas. Tom, you've been playing around with it. How is it going?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a Chromium-based browser for Mac OS, Windows, iOS, and Android versions coming soon. Opens right to a ChatGPT prompt. Has its own search interface that includes your typical ChatGPT response, along with options for pretty standard-looking search links. In fact, less cluttered than what you would get from Google or Bing. You also get image, video, and news results in separate sections. And then there's a cursor chat little chip that you can invoke while you're writing something and ask for assistance, maybe in an email or a doc. There's also the ChatGPT agent, which can browse for you to do things like research or order things. The demonstration they did in their stream was Instacart. And you can choose a logged in or logged out mode when using the agent. So you can say, keep everything logged out, even though it's logged in on the rest of the browser. I don't want the agent to get somewhere without asking me if it's okay to log in yet. That's a safety protocol. But I thought we'd play around with it, especially to show the search. What should I search for? Throw out anything. This is like an improv exercise, but give me something to search for. What should I
Santa
search?
hats.
Santa hats. That's a great one. So you get your normal ChatGPT response first, right? It's like, oh, here's what to look for in a good Santa hat. And here's your top Santa hat options. This is what you normally get from ChatGPT when we all search for Santa hats, as we do. But then if you go to the search results, look, it's just typical search results. There's no sponsored results, not yet. It's actually just a clean list of search results. You go to the image one, you get a bunch of images of Santa hats, which is pretty great. Let's see a video. Yeah, video, giving me a bunch of YouTube videos about Santa hats. And then news. I don't know. Well, there's news about Santa hats. Look at that. Boys
Well,
lounge pants.
tis the season. We're getting there.
I guess so. But yeah, see, it works pretty much like your normal search engine, but it's not Google, it's not Bing, it's just ChatGPT's own version of it. And then I opened up the Daily Tech News Show doc here to show how the chip works. Now, we have battling agents here because Gemini is active and wants to help me write things. But if I highlight something, then I will get this tiny little chip right here. You can almost barely see it. It's a little blue dot. And then if I hover over it, the ChatGPT logo or OpenAI logo opens. And then I can use that to be like, make this more bold. And then it'll rewrite it. And then it'll say, how about this? And I'll like, great. And then I update and it changes my text for me. I can do the same thing with Gemini right here. But, if I'm not paying for Gemini or don't have access to Gemini, I can do that. And then does it right in the browser on any text. So it doesn't have to be a Google Doc situation. And then I don't know, do we want to demonstrate the agent mode?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna say, let's be logged out. Make me log in. I don't want you logging in. What would we like the agent to do? We could just do Instacart if we can't think of anything else.
Instacart or Open Table or something like that.
Oh yeah, you want to make
Make a
reservation.
I'm
Make a reservation.
interested in a pizza. Let's do something
I
like that.
want pizza. Find me an Italian restaurant with great pizza and make a reservation. Find me an
I have to
Italian
go out of the house? It's interesting.
downtown. I'm going to make it downtown.
Delivery.
All right. It's planning the task. It's focusing on finding a downtown Italian restaurant with great pizza. This is supposed to be the agent, right? Didn't I choose agent?
I think we
you
did.
did.
I think you did.
I'm happy to help. To start looking for a great reservation, I need a few more details. Which downtown area did you have in mind?
Because agent is like, where are you?
It's like downtown Burbank, downtown Manhattan Beach. Tomorrow evening, and 2 people. Well, no, y'all should come. So let's make it for 5 people.
Let's make it 5. Yeah. No, it's a group effort.
I don't want to leave anybody out. So.
I'll grab a flight right.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
later
maybe we
today.
should make it near whatever airport you fly into.
It's okay.
I'm thinking carefully about what options I have available to provide the best possible recommendations. It's interesting with reservations because it's acting a little like just typical ChatGPT. Okay, there we go. Now we're doing the agent thing. And you can see I can take control at any time. I can stop it at any time. But you can see what it's doing. So it's looking at this pizza restaurant called Bianco first. I guess that's what it has decided.
I've never been there, but it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm just very hungry right
And now it's trying to get the reservations. They ship nationwide on Gold Belly. Oh, that's good to know.
How about that?
So, Nicole, you could order from that.
I can order it right now. Yeah.
Have it shipped to you.
So
It seems I've come across some similar spots
There's a certain part of me, and this is probably just because I hate change, where I'm like, that was like sort of hard to do, to have the agent do this for you. Like, couldn't you just look this up on the internet?
Was it harder than looking it up yourself? Because I said, I just want you to do this. And it's like, great. Where and when? I said that. And then it's off to the races. I can monitor it, but I don't have to. So I don't have to go find this. I don't have to determine
I think it's
the
very,
restaurant.
it's very, this will appeal to very specific certain situations. Especially yeah, all 5 of us going to get pizza tomorrow, at 7 p.m., whatever. It's like, there are going to be a lot of places that won't take us, but the one that will, that's also rated well.
So it's found a table. It's picked a time.
Oh my gosh.
It's finalizing the date and submitting the reservation. I'm going to have to cancel this reservation.
You're going to have to cancel the reservation.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it. I think this will be the way that we do stuff inside 18 months. We want to, in 3 years, we can't even comprehend how we did it without this.
Oh, there's no availability tomorrow at that time. So now it's moving on to a different place.
Wait, so
Yeah.
hold on. So
it
said, okay, so tomorrow, and then it was like, hold
It tried to make the
on.
reservation and got there's no tables.
got
So it's like, great, fine.
denied.
We'll go to somewhere else. This is where it really is saving, because you would have had to do that yourself and been
Right.
frustrated, right? And like, okay, now I have to pick a second place. Where should we go?
But there's
I mean, I guess-
there's also a little bit of this is an assistant, right? It
Yeah.
could be a human assistant, AI assistant, whatever it is. And you have to trust that assistant to know what you want more than what you want. And I think that that's where some of us, myself included, sometimes feel like, I'm going to do this myself because I know what I want. Yeah, and I don't want you to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, if you know what you want, you could say that. You could say, I want you to make a reservation at 7 tomorrow at Buca di Beppo, and it'll still do it, but it'll do it exactly then you don't have to go through all the steps. All you have to do is say it. I still think
True.
that is something that could save you time.
Yeah, if you know what you want specifically, then of course this is a great tool. If you're sort of like, give me a pizza place, then maybe your mileage may vary.
Well, and if you don't know where to go, you could say, give me ideas and look at those first. I kind of said, go ahead and you pick for me, which your mileage may vary. Exactly.
So there are times when I would go into an office in Lissa Viejo and, oh, wow, 6 people from my team are actually in the same office at the same time on the same day. So I would just go to an assistant and say, hey, can you make a reservation for 6 of us? I know it's short term. We just want to go somewhere for lunch.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about anything else after that until I got the email that said, here's where we're going. Our reservation's at 1:30.
Now you'll see it stopped. This is one thing I don't like. I found this when I used the agent a couple times. It wasn't clear to me why it stopped. I have to pay attention to the sidebar. I think they could do a little design work to make it more prominent. Like, I'm waiting for your input. But if I read the sidebar, it says, I'm ready to select the 7 p.m. slot as Settecento DTLA for 5 people. Would you like me to proceed? So that's nice. It's saying like, okay, I found it, but before I actually make the reservation, are you cool with that?
Yeah.
And then I can just say yes, and it'll probably ask me to sign into OpenTable and make the reservation. I'm gonna call it there, but I thought that was a pretty good demonstration of how it works.
Yeah, it's pretty effective. And this thing just came out. I mean, 2 days later, today there's news about here's all the features we're going to be adding because people are saying, oh, but it can't do this and it can't do that and it can't do the other. And Chrome is better. You could do a plugin in Chrome, and all that stuff is being said. And OpenAI is already saying we're going to add these features and we're going to add these features. So I think that this is going to get to a point to where, like I said, in 18 months, it'll just be how we do it. In 3 years, we'll imagine the times like, how did you guys do this back then?
Yeah, I guess the other thing is
get up and change channels physically on the television. What kind of world would you guys live in?
it's like
Turned
that.
your lights on and off by yourself?
You could do all this in
Weird.
Chrome is the thing. Like, I can even have the OpenAI agent do this in Chrome. So it's not, I still don't know why I need the Atlas browser yet. I know it's got the little sidebar built in and the chip and stuff. And those are things you can't do in Chrome, but I'm not sure if that's enough to make me switch to Atlas for my daily driver.
It would be interesting for me if you ask it to do things that requires like voice input. For example, like if you ask it to, can you cancel my Comcast subscription for me or something like that?
Yeah, can it call? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sort of more like it needs a person there or something to help get things along. But this is
Definitely.
a good proof of concept, at least for now, for sure.
Yeah, and people, Technoment's just saying, what if you're willing to change the time on that first option? I could go in and say, actually, can you go back to that first option and change the time? What time is available? That's the beauty of it, is you can just chat and say, like, what about this? What about that?
I can even see a world where you don't have to sit in front of this thing. It'll send you a text message and just ask you, hey, do you want to do this? And you click on your text message.
That's way better. Honestly, that's way better than
Oh,
this web browser situation, which I agree with Tom that it wasn't clear to me that you needed input at that point. But that's kind of a minor situation that you can easily fix with a text message for sure.
Right. Well, need a snazzy gift for a coworker or a colleague? We've got dozens of ideas at dailytechnewsshow.com/store. Pick up a mug or a t-shirt or a mouse pad with our new DTNS Live logo on it. They're great gifts and a great way to support the show. And please send us your pics of yourself wearing our swag. So if you've got our mouse pads, you got an apron, you got a hat or a hoodie, just send it in to us. Let us see how you're using it.
Fitness trackers are marketed as an aid for people who want to manage their fitness health. But how much do they really help, depending on who you are? Nicole, I know you know the space well, so what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so fitness trackers, activity trackers, whatever you want to call them, they've been around for a very long time. I looked it up recently on Wikipedia. Apparently one of the first ones was the Apple plus Nike iPod shoe sensor. You put in your shoe and it tracks your steps.
I remember
or something.
that.
Back in the day, 2006, almost 20 years ago.
Pre-iPhone.
So it's been an iPod Nano situation. So that was a long time ago, and of course things have sort of advanced to the stage that we are. I have an Apple Watch with me, and it tracks your steps, your calories burned, your heart rate, all that stuff. So it does a lot of things now. But with all of these sensors and all of these step tracking, does it actually improve your health? Does it actually make you like work out more? Does it actually
change your habits?
Change your habits? Does it actually like cause weight loss? And there have definitely been a lot of stories done over the years where not so much, because it still requires you to actually do the work, right? You actually still have to like get off your behind and go and do your thing. And there are a lot of studies done also about the downsides of like, do you feel shame but not actually doing the thing of going out and doing exercise and so forth. And I also feel like the feature set of smartwatches and activity trackers, they've kind of evened out in recent years. They're all kind of the same. They're all like, they all have the similar features of like heart rate and step and counting steps. And I think that might contribute to like not many people perhaps getting on the smartwatch bandwagon perhaps recently, depending on, I guess, your fitness goals, etc. So I would love to know people's history and experience with activity trackers. I definitely have a long experience. I had that Nike plus iPod thing back in 2006. I had a Jawbone Up. I had a Nike Fuel Band. I have an Apple Watch
I had
currently.
a Fuel Band. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've had all of these things. Does it help? Does it help you actually get out of the house and take those 10,000 steps?
This is a really good question that you're bringing up, because I have an Apple Watch that I wear every day. I'm actually not wearing it right now because it's charging in the next room. But hitting my steps, and I have a goal, of steps that I want to hit. I have an exercise goal, and then a calorie goal every day. Do I hit that every day? Rarely. But when I do, I feel really good about it. I'm like, you know what? I crushed it today. I was very active. And that sometimes is like going to the grocery store and hauling groceries up, 2 flights of stairs, which I have to do every time I go to the grocery store. And so there are many reasons where I feel like it feels very rewarding when I like make my Apple Watch happy. But if I don't, So, like, for example, yesterday, I mean, I have a dog, so I mean, I'm always walking outside for, at least a little bit of time. But we didn't hit that like 5 mile per day thing that I wanted. We were way under that yesterday. It just was one of those days. And I was like, well, so it goes. I mean, what are you gonna do, Apple? Like, beat me with
Fire
a belt?
Come find you.
So I've been using fitness trackers for years. I think my first one was the Fitbit, like the little pedometer. It was about the size of a quarter, and you just clipped it to your, to your belt, and it would track your steps. And that's literally all that it did. It had a clock on it and told you how many steps that you had. And I have now graduated up to now I do wear a smartwatch, I would say most days, but because I actually wear watches as jewelry, I have some nicer watches. I don't wear a smartwatch every single day. I never wear a smartwatch to sleep in because I've got like a metal band and I don't want to scratch myself up, at night when I'm sleeping. So I've never worn my smartwatch to sleep. I may actually do like one of these rings or something like that. Just to track, what's happening when you sleep. But to say all that, to say this, I'm not driven by any of the things that the watch says or the app. None of that really drives me. There is the gamification though. Like, so if I'm like, oh, you're at 5,200 steps, you only need 800 more to go to get to the day. That might actually make me say to myself, oh, you know what? Get up and go walk around the yard right fast, and you'll get to 6,000. That has actually happened on more than one occasion, just because I am trying to do 6,000 steps a day. It is more about me wanting to do 6,000 steps a day than the watch prompting me to do it, other than the fact that, oh, you're so close, and it's just giving me that reminder. Same thing with like Duolingo. I really like using Duolingo, and maybe some of the other tools will become more prominent that are a little bit more AI driven, but I like using it, and it gives me the reminder at 11, hey, you only got 60 minutes before your day ends. Go ahead and continue this streak. Those kind of things for me actually work, but I'm not necessarily driven by those apps unless it was something that I was already wanting to do, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever find your behavior some way altered from the notifications, sort of like it's goading you to do it? So it's like, oh, I got this for a reason. I better force myself to get up.
Since we've been doing the show, my watch has reminded me twice, get up and move. I'm not.
Oh,
it's just
every single hour at 50 on the hour, it's like it's time to stand, and I'm like, I can't right now.
Yeah, so
stupid watch.
I guess my question is,
I have no intention on doing that stuff anyway. But if it was something that I was, I want to make sure that every hour I stand up and move around. If that was something that I wanted to do, the watch could prompt me to do it because it was already something that I wanted to do. It will never prompt me to do something I wasn't already thinking that I want to do, at least for me.
Mm-hmm. So if you were sort of reluctant to engage in any of these fitness routines, the device itself wouldn't really be the fulcrum in which you're suddenly moving to your healthier life. It's sort of like
you get a membership to a gym. Are you gonna go? I mean, that's up to you. You can pay the money and never go. I feel like a lot of these fitness devices are the same thing. It's like you get used to ignoring those little nudges. That's pretty easy to do. I mean, I often, because I do wear my Apple Watch overnight, I will, if the Apple Watch like knows that I'm awake because I've been moving around, then I start getting that like time to stand, 4:50 a.m. No, I'm not standing. And it's like it's trying its best to be motivating, but I think we all kind of know what our limits are.
Yeah, and this is why this is why I think the only way it has actually even worked for me is when it's. So I recently reviewed this app called Future Fitness, and it's a personal training app that you're connected to a personal trainer. And the way this works is that it uses your Apple Watch or whatever smartwatch. It works with Wear OS watches as well. And it sends that information to a personal trainer. So the personal trainer knows that whether you worked out or not because the Apple Watch will send that information to them. So I get messages all the time, like, have you worked out today? Okay, you haven't worked out yesterday. You better get, like, a constant communication. So it's the not necessarily the smartwatch that's doing it. It's the smartwatch sort of communicating with the actual person messaging me, hey, you didn't work out yesterday. You better get on it today, and giving me that accountability through the watch with a person that's sending those messages. So that's the only way it's ever worked for me. That's the only way a smartwatch has actually
You're like,
made me
I'm
work
gonna have
out.
to look you in the eye eventually and tell you why I didn't work out at all last week. No, I get it. I mean, motivation works in mysterious ways. We're all different, but yeah.
I'm with you on that one, Nicole. If I like, there was a time when I had like a group of buddies that we were all trying to get our 6,000 steps in, and if we didn't check into the app and say I got my 6,000 steps in, there was 5 other guys saying, "Hey man, you didn't get your steps in today. Lunch is on you next time we meet." So that drove me way more than the notification from the phone. Is like, because I'm cheap and I'm not trying to spit, buy lunch with people because I missed some steps.
Then you had to go to Atlas and have it make a reservation at the cheapest sandwich place at the front.
Yeah, like everyone else is eating pizza and Rob's like eating like some arugula. Like, oh man, sucks. Nothing wrong with arugula. All right. So speaking of Rob, you've been following what's been going on with Xbox, because I'm a little confused.
If I'm honest, Sarah, I have no idea, but I'm beginning to wonder if the Xbox, if it's not necessarily long for this world anymore. I'm kind of wondering if we are seeing the last days of Xbox as a console. I've been using the Xbox Series X for a little over a year now. But when I really think about it, I don't know that I actually really need it. I've never inserted a disc into it, not one single time. I may have 4, 5, or 6 games installed on it, but of at least 3 of those games that are physically installed, they're cloud-ready games, so I can play them in the cloud. So I don't know that I really even need the hardware. I've been using these things for a while, and like I love the streaming games. I know some hardcore gamers are going to say there's latency and all that kind of stuff, but I don't mind them for the way that I play. In fact, I may actually prefer it because on the I keep an Xbox Elite controller in my backpack. I always have my phone with me. I usually have a tablet with me, and I can play Xbox games that I can stream wherever I am. So I was just kind of wondering, just kind of open up the conversation to you guys about, what is going on with Microsoft. They just, I think it was earlier this month or late last month, they increased their Ultimate Game Pass or I should say the Game Pass Ultimate plan by 50%. It's not inexpensive. This thing is $30 a month now. And just months before that, they were saying how great Game Pass was doing. So what is the reason for the plans? And we find out today that Microsoft has basically, they've been trying to shoot for this ridiculously high profit margin of 30%. The industry average is only 17 to 22%. So they are, they literally are significantly above what the industry average is. In the last few years, they've even been down, at least for three quarters of a year, down to like 12.5%. So they've canceled titles, they've shuttered studios, and they've laid thousands of people off from Xbox Studios. All this to me is kind of pointing to we're changing from being a hardware company that makes games to a game company that has hardware, at least for now, but maybe not for later. So I just really want to open up to you guys and just kind of, get your thoughts on this. Do you think that there will be multiple Xbox consoles after the latest one that's out right now? I think maybe 2 more. I don't know that we'll see 3 more.
I know, Roger, you have thoughts on this.
I think they'll continue to have branded hardware, but if you mean like
You mean like the ROG or ROG Ally?
yeah, like
that?
stuff that will carry the Xbox name on it, but at some point I think if they're focusing on margins, being a hardware company, at least for Microsoft, is probably not that way forward, because it is such a targeted product. It's not as opposed to like a tablet or even just a TV, which you could sell to a wide number of people. Someone's going to buy a game console is going to want to buy it because they want a game, not necessarily because they want to watch Netflix or they want to watch Hulu or YouTube on it. Or Disney Plus, I guess, as it were. But the 30% seems kind of steep. I don't know if that's just
for the
enough.
entire division. The
That's for the entire
CFO,
division.
the CFO Amy Hood, apparently, according to Bloomberg sources, somebody's sources, are saying it's 30% for the entire division. So it's Phil who's now got to implement that. So it's not that the device has to carry a 30% profit margin, but something does, right?
Xbox gaming.
Yeah.
And that would be the services aspect of their entertainment.
That's why they
right?
raised the price on Game
Yeah.
Pass. Exactly.
And they probably did it because they know they've gotten enough people that have been willing to sign up for it that you always assume there's a percentage loss every time you bump the price on something, but you factor in that you get enough people to stay that it makes the entire thing worthwhile. And we've seen that a little bit with streaming services where they were slowly and consistently bumping up the prices seemed like every year or so. So I mean,
it's not just, we've seen it most recently with streaming services, but that's the way economics works, right?
Yeah. And Microsoft has never been a hardware company first. They've done a lot of hardware, but it's never been, we're a hardware company, we're going to do this. It's more, hey, we could build this hardware that leverages our services or software to do this, right? You think of
and they're a
Microsoft.
cloud company now, right?
Yeah, they definitely are.
And, unlike say Sony, which is a consumer electronics company, I mean, Microsoft is a cloud services, software, everything leads to hey, you subscribe, you pay your monthly annual fee, and, we're all happy as clams. I think this is just Microsoft basically taking the Xbox division and pulling it into that same mode with all the other cloud divisions that it has.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Xbox Anywhere. They launched that. It was back in 2024, I think around this time. So it's been out a year, maybe a little over a year, to where you can just, if you buy a game, it doesn't matter what you bought it on, you can play it on whatever that game can be played on, and you don't have to pay any additional money for it. And then the streaming is really good. I've heard people say that if you're playing in a competitive game with others and your trigger speed is really consequential, that you may not want to actually have to stream the game other than streaming, than playing the game online. But for most games, I am completely happy with playing, the game streaming. I'm just as happy playing on my tablet with a controller when I'm on the road as I am playing in front of an 80-inch screen, 80-inch TV in the house. So I really do wonder. I think that we will definitely have one more Xbox. I don't know that there will be two.
I honestly think there will be more Xboxes, but I think there's going to be one where they're going to pay for someone to do bespoke, high-performance hardware that is going to sell for $500 to $600. Because I don't think that market is there enough to support.
That's interesting. This goes along with what you were saying earlier too, Roger. There might be there will be an Xbox next. They're very insistent on that. But after that, there might just be lots of Xboxes, right?
Mm-hmm. And everything's an Xbox. That's literally stuff that Microsoft is saying. Everything can be an Xbox. If it's got a screen and internet connectivity, you can play
it's
games.
saying PC, right? It's lots of companies are going to be like, okay,
you've got multiple Surface devices that Microsoft makes, and no shortage of lots of other stuff from lots of other people.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a steep price, $600.
Yeah, 30%. Yeah, 30% margin. That is pretty steep. Do companies hit it every now and again when they've got a smash hit? That's the number one game, but it is to just be. We want to always be 30% for the entire division, and this is now being driven back to that's why they laid these folks off. That's why they shuttered that studio. That's why this game is no longer coming out.
Amy Hood doesn't mess around. She's like, give me 30%. Let's see how close you can get.
I mean, it could be very much of how far can we push this until it breaks, and they're just in the pushing phase of it, and the breaking happens later.
Yeah, and you said it my Xbox One or Series X, I paid almost $700 for that thing. And Microsoft didn't make money on selling that. Maybe that one. I think the lower end Xboxes, they actually don't make money on. They sell them at a loss.
Yeah.
So
they make money
if
off the
there's
games.
some of these things at a loss, that is definitely not going to help your margin. So I'm just wondering. I think Xbox will look very different in 3-4 years from what it does today.
Well, we'd love to have all of your thoughts on everything we talk about on the show. In that vein, let's check out the mailbag today.
Yeah, lots of responses to last week's shows. Keep them coming. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. Craig wrote in to note that he has upgraded 3 machines from Windows 10 to Windows 11 that don't meet the Microsoft requirements. 2 of them had started out as Windows 7 machines. They were 12 and 13 years old. One is a Windows 8 machine that was 9 years old, and all of which got free Microsoft upgrades to Windows 10. He said, I upgraded to Windows 11 using Rufus at rufus.ie. 2 of the machines used UEFI, 1 used BIOS. This is a fairly easy process, and instructions can be found for creating the USB drive on the Rufus website. Excellent step-by-step instructions can be found by searching for Windows Forum Rufus, including how to upgrade without losing user files. For the squeamish, there are several videos about using Rufus for Windows 11 on YouTube. And Roger, you even wrote your Patreon column this week about upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11.
Yeah, I mean, Rufus allows you to circumvent certain requirements that Windows 11 nags you about when you install, but Rufus does a pretty good job. And the great thing is Windows 11, and I wrote this in my column, runs on the same kernel as Windows 10. So for the most part, you won't notice any significant performance impact if the machine that you have Windows 10 on runs satisfactory for you. Windows 11 should run satisfactory for you as well.
And S. Tim writes in, for those who are dreading moving to a new OS and learning new tricks, I just want to calm your fears. Windows 11 is probably the mildest upgrade Microsoft has ever done. It's closest to Windows 95 versus Windows 98, which many people had no idea which one they were running. I was one of them, unless they wanted USB support as bad as it was back then. And even then, Windows 95 OSR 2 confused that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this tells you how easy it is, but Windows 11 on my machine looks like Windows 10 because you can customize all the things that make Windows 11 and turn it off.
It was a choice to call it Windows 11. They could have just kept calling it Windows 10.
They could have called it Windows 10, I don't know, next generation.
Bill Russell is like Windows 10.5. It could have been. Brian chimed in and said, I wanted to say being able to get the Windows 10 ESU for 1,000 Microsoft reward points, the extended support for 1,000 Microsoft rewards point, is an absolute steal. I use Bing as my default search and regularly get rewards points from searching. Usually I exchange them for gift cards. Usually a $10 gift card for some store is like 13,000 reward points. So going with 1,000 reward points versus $30 for the extended support is definitely the way to go.
What? Yeah. I want to do that.
Well,
yeah, start using Bing.
You don't even have to use the points. If you just create a Microsoft account and just log in and click the update, it will do it. And then if you don't want to have that Microsoft account, just log back out of it and then use whatever account that you were using before.
Yeah, you can
do that just too. Turn it off. So yeah, don't send Microsoft money for this. Just do the Windows. Create an account,
let
upgrade,
Microsoft
then
pay
go back
you.
to your old account.
Yeah. Sean also wrote in, this is about my story from last week where I talked about how ants had infiltrated my Sonos One speaker, which was very upsetting. Sean says, Sarah was part of a significant group of Sonos users with ant problems. And The Verge wrote about it in an article titled A Buggy Sonos Mystery. The Verge also had a follow-up article saying, why on earth would ants pick a speaker of all things to nest in? So if you are either somebody who has suffered, as I have, with a smart speaker full of ants.
Have you suffered from ants? Call this number.
Or you're just curious about what the heck was going on. I don't know. I mean, that's...
It's the magnets, isn't it?
I feel vindicated just because it was so weird and gross.
It's nice to know you're not alone.
Just to know I'm not alone. But I have to assume there's some sort of smell. There's some sort of smell inside the speakers.
Oh, you know what? It could be the NDF. So most speakers are made from medium density fiberboard. And so that smell or that feel it's either easy for them to chew through the nest, or it
Could
just
be the
smells
heat.
like
Could be the
home.
heat from.
I
the
still think it's the
speaker?
magnets, because speaker
I
magnets are.
don't know.
Ants just really like
powerful.
high quality sound, okay?
Yeah.
They're audiophiles.
Well,
They call them
yeah.
Those
They
cantophiles.
really liked mine. That was not a fun couple months of my life. I mean,
That
it took a
sounds-
while to get the ants out of there. I still have the speaker.
Wow.
It works
Well, especially
again.
with LA's laws about evictions. Yeah, it takes a while.
I didn't even live in LA at the time.
Your ants are squatting in your Sonos speaker.
You gotta get them out.
Oh
This
my
is our
gosh,
house
get him
downstairs.
out, get him out. All right. Would you willingly let the government know your whereabouts? Some of you might say, well, it depends on the context. You might, though, if you're traveling internationally, and Chris Christensen tells us more.
This is Chris Christensen from Amateur Traveler with another Tech in Travel Minute. Would you ever intentionally ask the government to track you? Well, if you take off your tinfoil hat, that is actually something I do every time I travel internationally with the State Department Traveler Enrollment Program, STEP. You can go to step.state.gov to learn more, but this program lets you tell the government where you're going so they can contact you more easily in an emergency. You can also sign up for information about things that are going on in that country that you should know about if you're traveling. Step.state.gov, and I'm Chris Christensen from Amateur Traveler.
Was he traveling to a bird's nest?
It sounded very birdy.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were a lot
Yeah.
of birds though. But I've actually done the step thing before. It depends on where you're going. You may or may not care. Like if you're going to England and there's nothing much going on, maybe you don't want to do that. But if you're going to a place where, you know, it's a smaller country, or maybe there's been a little civil unrest in the area you're going, it's a good idea.
100%. Remember, you can send in your comments to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We read every single one of them, so keep them coming. And of course, if you're a patron, you can comment on anything that we post to Patreon as well. Nicole Lee, such a pleasure to have you on the show today. Let folks know where they can keep up with your latest.
You can just go to my website, nicolelee.pro. It's all of my stuff on there. Or you can just catch me on Blue Sky, nicolelee.bsky.social. That's where I post most of my social media stuff these days.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nicole. During the show, we've been receiving your titles. Thank you for sending them to us. DTNS.showbot.tv is the place where they show up. Our top vote getter right now is from the Reverb Mike. The cloud goes to the mattresses.
That's a good one.
And then E. Clay Thomason with the internet outage of things.
Pretty good.
Stealth Dave suggested the next top Santa hat.
I think
I
my
like Xbox as in X.
Like,
That you broke up with.
That was one. That's a good
Nice
my
one,
one.
personal
Dave.
favorite is when your mattress lets you down.
Oh,
That's a good one. That's a good play on words.
Philly
Imagine
Coathead.
just sort of standing in the bedroom like, why? Why, man?
Sarah, what should we go with?
Well, we had lots of choices, but we went with the Reverb Mike's Nagging Me Gently to Be Healthy.
Oh, very nice.
Which
Very
speaks
nice.
exactly to what Nicole was putting down here on this show.
Big thanks to everybody who supports us in all the various ways, including YouTube, LinkedIn, folks subscribing on Twitch. Charlie in Columbus is back for the 71st month. We got new follows from Senor Gatos, Ruford, Hurry64, Johnny SHHH. Helmet 1977 is a new subscriber. Welcome. Howard Yermish back for 24 months at Tier 1, 33rd month total. CPOT's 50 had a 3-stream streak this week. Technomensch resubscribed with Prime for the 30th month. Skullmeat X and Snoozing Grouch followed us. Zoe and G. James B also had 7 stream streaks. That means they streamed us something from us every day. Technomensch resubscribed with Prime, and Nainu back for the 42nd month at Tier 1. They've been subscribed for 40 months. Good to have you back, Nainu. Thanks everybody for supporting us in all the ways, including patreon.com/DTNS. Patrons, stick around. We got a fun game for you. Only the patrons get to find out the 6 degrees of separation between tech luminaries and Kevin Bacon.
Ooh, boy. But all of you can watch us live every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 2000 UTC. And you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. Be sure to keep up with Daily Tech Headlines and Daily Tech News Show all week. Plus, Live With It episodes, new hangouts throughout the week, and we have some bonus weekend content as well. We'll see you next Thursday.
This episode of DTNS Live was created by the following people: producer and host Sarah Lane, host Tom Merritt, host Robb Dunewood, producer Roger Chang, video producer Joe Kuntz, producer at large Anthony Lemos, social media producer and moderator Zoe Detterding. Our moderators: Beatmaster W. Scott S1, BioCow, Captain Kipper, Steve Guadarrama, Paul Reese, Matthew J. Stevens, aka Gadget Virtuoso, and J.D. Galloway. Mod and video hosting by Dan Christensen. Music provided by Martin Bell and Dan Looters. Art by Len Peralta. Acast ad support from Tatiana Matias. Patreon support from Bobby Wagner. Our guests this week were Nicole Lee and Chris Christensen. And thanks to all our patrons who make the show possible.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Well, for those of